Have you ever been stopped by someone who just couldn't believe your age? Maybe they thought you were years, if not a decade, younger than you actually are. At first, it might seem like just a compliment, but what if I told you that looking younger than your age isn't just about good genes or skincare? It's a sign, an indicator of something much deeper, something hidden within your psychology, your mindset, and even your life choices. People who look younger often share distinct psychological traits, and today I'm about to reveal what they are. If you've ever been told you don't look your age, pay close attention, because this might explain why. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because I'll be sharing more eye-opening content like this, and you don't want to miss out. Number 1. You have an unbreakable spirit. Have you ever noticed how some people go through the worst storms in life, yet still manage to look untouched by time? They face heartbreak, betrayals, financial struggles, and personal losses, but when you look at them, you'd never guess the battles they've fought. Their secret, an unbreakable spirit. Your mind controls your body more than you think. The weight of stress, anxiety, and emotional burdens doesn't just exist in your thoughts. It carves itself into your skin, your posture, and even the way you carry yourself. People who seem to defy aging are not just lucky. They have learned how to master their emotions instead of letting their emotions master them. They understand one of life's most brutal truths. Stress is a silent killer, and it doesn't just take away your peace. It takes away your youth. Look at those who age prematurely. More often than not, they are people who have allowed stress to consume them. They dwell on their failures, hold on to grudges, and live in a constant state of worry. This mental state forces the body into survival mode, increasing cortisol levels, the stress hormone responsible for wrinkles, dull skin, and overall exhaustion. It doesn't just make you look older, it makes you feel older too. But then there are those who refuse to let stress dictate their lives. No matter what happens, they get back up. They take the blows, but they don't let the bruises remain. They have this deep-rooted resilience, a kind of mental toughness that keeps them from drowning in negativity. And guess what? Their faces reflect that strength. Their skin remains vibrant, their eyes stay full of life, and their presence radiates energy. If you've ever been told that you look younger than your age, ask yourself, are you someone who keeps moving forward despite hardships? Do you laugh in the face of adversity instead of letting it break you? If so, you may have cracked the ultimate secret to agelessness. Not just in appearance, but in spirit. And if you haven't yet mastered this, the best time to start is now. Let go of what you cannot control. Find strength in your struggles. Refuse to be defeated. Because while life will try to wear you down, only you have the power to decide whether it leaves a mark on your soul or your face. Number 2, you embrace change instead of fearing it. Have you ever met someone who, despite their age, has this unstoppable energy, the kind that makes you question if time even affects them? They move through life with excitement, curiosity, and an openness that seems almost childlike. These are the people who have discovered the ultimate key to staying young, embracing change instead of fearing it. Stubbornness is one of the fastest ways to age, mentally, emotionally, and physically. When people resist change, they trap themselves in cycles of stress, frustration, and stagnation. Their minds grow rigid, their habits repetitive, and their bodies begin to reflect the weight of their unwillingness to adapt. This resistance doesn't just affect their mood, it manifests in their posture, their expressions, and even the way they carry themselves. You've probably seen it, the frown lines, the stiffness, the energy of someone who is simply existing rather than truly living. Now think about those who seem ageless. even in their 50s, 60s or beyond. They are the ones who don't let time define them. Instead of clinging to the past, they welcome new experiences. Instead of saying, "I'm too old for this," they say, "Why not?" They are lifelong learners, willing to grow, evolve, and try things outside of their comfort zone. This flexibility isn't just good for the soul, it's a powerful anti-aging weapon. Science backs this up. People who constantly learn new skills, explore different ideas, and remain socially and intellectually engaged, maintain stronger brain function and healthier bodies. Their minds stay sharp and their spirits remain lively, which naturally reflects in their appearance. There's a certain glow to someone who embraces life with open arms. Their faces don't carry the heaviness of regret or the stiffness of resistance. Instead, they radiate a youthful energy that is undeniable. So, if you ever wonder why some people look much older than they are, while others seem to defy time, look at their attitude toward change. Those who resist it age faster, both inside and out. But those who flow with life, who see every twist and turn as an adventure, remain youthful, not just in looks, but in spirit. The truth is, aging isn't just about the passing of years, it's about how you respond to the changes that come with them. If you refuse to evolve, you will feel old long before your time. But if you embrace the unknown, stay curious and never let yourself grow mentally stiff, you will carry an energy that makes people wonder, what's your secret? Number 3, your mind is always curious. You ever meet someone who just feels alive? Not because they're loud or flashy, but because their mind is sharp, their attention is alert. And when you talk to them, you feel like they're genuinely interested, not just in you, but in the world. That's not random. That curiosity. It's one of the deepest psychological traits that keeps you youthful, not just mentally, but physically. Here's why. Your brain and your body are in constant conversation. When your mind is engaged asking questions, learning new skills, reading, observing, challenging beliefs, it sends a message to the rest of your being. We're not done growing yet. And that signal alone keeps certain biological systems more active. Neural plasticity, dopamine regulation, even hormone levels tied to vitality and alertness, they all benefit when curiosity is alive and well. Now think about the opposite. People who have settled, who've stopped wondering, stopped seeking, stopped playing mentally. You can see it in their eyes, that dullness, that tiredness. Their skin may still be smooth, but their energy feels old. And women, especially intuitive ones, can pick up on that instantly. A man whose mind is still hungry for life, that's electric. This isn't just about being book smart or quoting philosophers. It's about having a presence that feels aware, a perspective that's constantly evolving. Women don't just want a man who knows things. They're drawn to the one who's still learning, still fascinated by the world and by her. That's a man who sees her not as something to figure out, but as a mystery to enjoy exploring over time. That's attractive, and that's youthful. Now let's talk about curiosity and sex appeal, because yes, they're connected. A curious mind brings surprise, it brings attention to detail, it creates better conversations, deeper eye contact, more meaningful touch. Stoicism teaches us to examine life without attachment, without judgment, but it doesn't tell us to become numb. A Stoic man observes, questions, reflects, but he does it with awareness and self-command. That calm curiosity, it radiates as subtle power, and subtle power is irresistible. There's also something rare about a man who asks without assuming, who explores ideas instead of trying to win arguments. That kind of energy feels safe, but also stimulating, especially to a woman who's tired of surface-level guys who only perform confidence without substance. So how do you keep this curiosity alive? Start with observation, in silence. When you walk into a room, ask yourself, what's really going on here? What aren't people saying? What does her body language reveal that her words hide? That kind of attention sharpens everything from your perception to your posture. Try new things often, even in small doses. Take a different route. Read something outside your usual interests. Ask questions you don't already know the answers to. These habits don't just train your mind, they awaken a deeper presence that people feel, especially women. Because when your energy says, I'm fully here and I'm paying attention, you stand out. You stop aging in their eyes. You become unpredictable in the best way. Not chaotic, but alive. You see, youthfulness isn't only about smooth skin or a fit body. It's about the signal you send, that you haven't closed the book, that you're still writing, still curious, still invested in living, not just existing. Now, if a woman feels that from you, don't be surprised when she leans in, not just physically, but emotionally. You become a rare finder man who's grounded in himself but still open to growth. That's what makes you memorable. That's what makes you magnetic. This kind of curiosity doesn't fade with time, it deepens. It's not loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It just sits in the center of your presence like a quiet fire. And trust me, people feel it long before you speak. I want you to think about this. What's one question you haven't asked in a while about yourself, about life, about her? Reignite it. Let it stir something inside. That's where the real glow starts. Say it in the comments. I crave answers. Let's see who's truly alive. And trust me, this fire, it only gets stronger in the next part. Number 4. You express your emotions freely. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you're young. Repressing your emotions doesn't make you stronger, it just makes you older. Not in the calendar years, but in the way your face tightens, your body stiffens, and your energy grows dull. Men who look younger than they are, they've figured something out. They've stopped bottling things up. Imagine walking around with a bag of rocks strapped to your chest. Every argument you never spoke up about, every time you said, I'm fine, when you weren't. Every moment of stress you swallowed instead of releasing, that bag adds weight, and over time it shows. In your posture, your skin, even your tone of voice. But the man who expresses his emotions with honesty, without drama, without ego, walks lighter, and he looks it. Now, this doesn't mean breaking down in front of strangers or oversharing your life story on a first date. It means learning how to acknowledge what you feel instead of running from it. Because suppressing emotion ages the body. It floods your system with cortisol, raises your blood pressure, tightens your jaw and your chest. Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote about it not suppressing emotion, but seeing it clearly, calmly, and letting it pass like clouds across the sky. Modern science backs it up. People who are emotionally expressive tend to have lower rates of chronic disease. Their nervous systems regulate faster, their immune systems bounce back better, and yes, they wrinkle slower. When a woman sees a man who can speak with clarity about what he feels, not in a needy way, but in a grounded, present way that hits differently, that's rare, that's attractive. There's a kind of youthful glow that comes from being emotionally honest. Not reactive, just real. And that's what sets you apart. You've probably been told you're easy to talk to, or that you have a calm presence. That's the result of inner balance. You're not stuffing emotion behind a wall of Stoicism. You're embodying what true Stoicism was always about: control, not denial. You don't fear vulnerability. You use it strategically. You open up just enough to connect, never so much that you collapse into someone else's storm. That's the power of emotional expression done with intention. Think about the most magnetic older men, those who seem timeless. They aren't emotionally flat, they're nuanced. You see something in their eyes, a story, a softness, a spark. That's what draws people in. That's what makes a woman lean closer, trying to read the full chapter behind your calm tone. And let's not forget, when you express emotion freely, you release the tension from your body. That means better posture, deeper sleep, more oxygen flow, all of which make you look healthier, stronger, and yes, young. So here's the takeaway. You want to stay youthful? Don't pretend you're made of stone. You're not. None of us are. Even the Stoics felt everything. We know this from their writings, but they processed it through thought, not repression. You can be strong and still say, "That hurt." You can be composed and still say, "I care." And in doing that, you create emotional space for yourself and for the people around you. You move differently. You age differently. You live differently. Let me ask you, has anyone ever told you you seem younger than your age? Or maybe they've said, "There's something light about you." That's no accident. Comment below and own it. Say, "I express what I feel." Now don't go anywhere, because what I'm about to tell you next reveals something even more subtle, something about your inner rhythm that most men never even notice in themselves. You'll want to hear this. Number 5, you surround yourself with positive energy. Ever notice how some people walk into a room and immediately shift the atmosphere without saying a word? That's energy. It's not mystical. It's not wishful thinking. It's a force. And when you choose to surround yourself with positive energy, both in people and in environments, it leaves a mark on you. A visible one. A younger, more magnetic presence that people feel without being able to explain. Let's get something straight. Youthfulness isn't just about skincare routines or clean diets. It's also about what you absorb daily through conversations, through relationships, through spaces you allow into your life. If every day feels like a battlefield because of the negativity you tolerate, it will show in your eyes, in your shoulders, in the tension around your mouth. Life will etch itself onto your face. But if you're intentional about your surroundings, if you filter what and who gets your time, you're preserving more than just your peace. You're preserving your lightness, your ability to stay open, curious, and present. That lightness is one of the key reasons why people say, "You don't look your age." Think about the people in your circle. Are they always complaining, doubting, dragging things down? Do they mock ambition, roll their eyes at optimism, or treat joy like a weakness? If so, you're not just picking up their words, you're inhaling their emotional residue. That kind of energy wears you out, not just mentally, physically. And that's why men who look younger often have this in common. They've done the emotional pruning. They've learned the quiet art of letting go. Not in a loud or dramatic way, but by slowly distancing themselves from what doesn't align. They don't chase toxic connections. They don't force conversations that feel heavy. They don't linger where they aren't energized. This is classic Stoicism in practice, not cold detachment, but strategic connection. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you," because he knew that character is contagious. And aging, just like mindset, is something you catch from those around you. But here's the deeper part most men miss. Positive energy isn't just about avoiding negativity. It's about cultivating vibrancy. You don't just remove the weeds, you plant better seeds. So surround yourself with people who inspire, who talk about ideas, not just people, who challenge you without attacking you, who make you laugh without needing a reason. And this doesn't mean life turns into a sunshine parade. You'll still face difficulty. But when your environment reflects your values, you deal with challenges differently. You bounce back faster. You sleep better. Your nervous system stays more regulated, and that shows in your skin, in your voice, in your presence. Have you ever noticed how women are drawn to men who seem light but grounded? That's the power of clean energy. There's no chaos in their eyes, no invisible war happening under the surface. Just calm, strength, focus. These are men who've edited their inputs, who protect their peace like it's currency because it is. You don't need dozens of people around you. Sometimes youthfulness thrives in silence, in solitude, in that one walk by the water where you hear yourself clearly, or that one friend who lifts you without inflating you. The quality of your energy inputs directly shapes your emotional output, and that emotional output, that's what people call vibe. That's what women notice. That's what makes someone seem younger, even when life has stacked up decades behind them. So, let's bring it home. You want to preserve your youth not just in appearance, but in energy. Curate your circle. Redefine what access means. Stop confusing familiarity with alignment. And most importantly, protect your environment like it's part of your body, because it is. Now, I want you to drop a comment that proves you own this principle. Right, I protect my peace. And don't think we're done here. There's one more piece to this puzzle, something deeper, something internal. And it's not what you think. Stick around. Number 6. You live with passion and purpose. There's something unmistakably youthful about a man whose eyes still burn with fire. It's not about how many wrinkles he has or what number sits on his birth certificate. It's about the spark, the quiet intensity, that subtle magnetism that tells the world, this man is alive for something. And that is a powerful reason why some men look younger than their age. It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's purpose. Purpose sharpens you, it straightens your spine, it clears your eyes. When you have something to build, something to protect, something to serve, you walk differently. You breathe deeper. You become less reactive and more focused. That internal clarity projects outward. It affects your posture, your tone, your rhythm, and women notice this deeply. Passion, on the other hand, is the fuel. It's the energy behind the action. You've seen it before, a man who could talk for hours about the thing he loves. Whether it's philosophy, design, martial arts, building businesses, writing poetry, crafting watches, it doesn't matter. What matters is that he cares, he's immersed. That emotional engagement lights him from within. And when a man is lit from within, aging slows down. Why? Because stress has less control over him. Depression has fewer doors to enter. Boredom, which is a silent killer of vitality, doesn't stick to him. This isn't just philosophical, it's biological. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose have better cardiovascular health, lower inflammation, and even longer telomeres. In short, they age slower. Now, let's tie this back to Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." That's the Stoic view of purpose, not fame, not applause, but contribution, service, integrity, living in alignment with your values. And that's the paradox: when you live with deep meaning, you become more attractive, not because you're trying to be, but because you're too busy building something bigger than yourself to beg for attention. That focus is magnetic. That depth is rare, and rarity makes people lean in. Men who look younger often have this in common. They've never stopped creating. They keep learning, trying, risking, exploring. They don't shrink into routine or hide behind titles. They reinvent. And that constant evolution shows on their face. There's movement in their energy, a spark in their laugh. They're not just passing time, they're living it. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be loud or grandiose. Stoic men are often subtle. Their purpose isn't broadcasted, but it leaks through everything they do, in the way they carry themselves, in the way they talk about ideas, in the silence they're not afraid of. Women pick up on this. It's not about status, it's about substance. Let's bring this closer to you. If your days feel flat, uninspired, or repetitive, pause. Ask yourself, what excites me that I've been suppressing? What would I chase if I wasn't worried about judgment? And who would I be if I let that fire lead more often? You want to look younger. Start by feeling more alive. Choose one thing that matters to you and pour yourself into it fully, not just for results, but for the process, for the aliveness it brings. That's what reclaims your energy. That's what reverses the dullness. That's what makes you magnetic. Now, if you're already walking this path, then own it out loud. Drop a comment that says, "I live with fire." Let that be your reminder and your promise. And listen, there's still one more piece you need to hear. A part of you that's been hiding in plain sight. We'll uncover it next. Don't miss it. Number 7. You let go of the past. Have you ever met someone who walks into a room and instantly feels lighter, like they're not dragging invisible chains behind them? That's the energy of someone who's made peace with their past. And yes, that energy makes a man look younger. Not because he's hiding what he's been through, but because he's not carrying it like a burden anymore. Letting go of the past doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean denying what's happened or pretending it didn't hurt. What it means is, you stopped letting it define you. That old relationship, it taught you. That failure, it sharpened you. That betrayal, it gave you clarity. You carry the lesson, not the weight. You see, unresolved pain ages a man. Regret etches itself into his posture. Bitterness shows up in his eyes. Resentment tightens his jaw. And no skincare routine can cover that. But when you release all that, when you've done the inner work, you don't just look different, you feel different. Lighter, calmer, and yes, younger. Now, here's where Stoicism gives you a real edge. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke." That's the heart of emotional youthfulness, recognizing that your inner world is yours to govern. The Stoic man doesn't dwell. He reflects, he learns, he moves forward, not with rage, not with avoidance, but with reason, with intention. And that kind of clarity is attractive. Women pick up on it, people trust it, because it tells them, this man is not a prisoner of his history. Let's break it down further. A man who hasn't let go of his past tends to speak in loops. He retells the same hurt. He sees new situations through old lenses. He hesitates when opportunity knocks, afraid that history will repeat itself. He second-guesses joy. That mental loop, it wears on him, and it shows. But the man who's made peace, he doesn't flinch at memories. He doesn't fear vulnerability. He's open but not exposed. He can sit with silence. He doesn't need drama or distraction. His peace isn't performative, it's real. You want to look younger? Start with what you're still holding on to. Ask yourself, what memory still tightens my chest? What name still echoes with anger? What mistake do I still punish myself for? And then make this decision right here, right now. I won't let that version of me run today. Because here's the truth. Women are not drawn to perfect men. They're drawn to men who've done the work, men who've owned their shadows, men who've alchemized pain into perspective. That kind of strength. It's quiet, it's calm, it's sexy, and it softens your face more than any anti-aging serum ever could. This is how emotional maturity connects to physical youth. The less you suppress, the less you tense. The more you release, the more you radiate. You breathe easier. You smile with your whole face. You're not constantly bracing for life. You've learned to flow with it. And that's a kind of power most people never tap into. But you can. You're already here. You're already thinking differently. That means you're not afraid to evolve. You're not afraid to shed old skins. That's rare. That's magnetic. So if you're feeling this, if this truth lands for you, say it in the comments. I release the weight. Say it for you. Say it like a contract with your future self. Because what's coming next, you'll need that clarity for it. And trust me, everything we've talked about so far, it's just been the surface. There's one more layer. One more force that silently keeps your youth alive, and most men overlook it completely. You ready for that? Stay with me. Number 8. Calm confidence keeps you magnetic. Let's be honest, confidence is always attractive. But calm confidence, that's a different beast. That's not the loud, flashy, attention-hungry kind. It's the quiet kind, the unshakable kind. The kind of energy that doesn't try to impress, because it already knows its worth. And that's exactly why it makes you so magnetic and why it keeps you looking younger than your age. People often confuse confidence with charisma or dominance, but the truth is, the most powerful kind of confidence is calm. It's the man who doesn't need to raise his voice to be heard, the one who walks into a room and doesn't demand attention, but somehow people give it to him anyway, not because of what he says, but because of what he doesn't need to say. Why is this connected to youthfulness? Because stress and insecurity age you fast. They show up in your posture, your skin, your eyes. They make you tense. They pull you into overthinking, overreacting, overcompensating. But calm confidence does the opposite. It softens your features. It slows your breath. It grounds you in presence. It's like this. When you're comfortable in your skin, your body relaxes. You don't fidget. You don't scan the room for validation. You sit back. You listen. You respond, not react. That relaxed energy, it's not just attractive, it's ageless. Now let's talk about what fuels this kind of calm confidence. Stoicism plays a huge role. A Stoic man understands that external events don't define him, only his response does. So when life throws a curveball, he doesn't flinch, he adapts. He doesn't need control over everything, just over himself. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the foundation of calm confidence. Not controlling outcomes, controlling your inner world. And you know what else makes this attractive? Women pick up on it instantly. They notice how you carry yourself, how you breathe, how your eyes don't dart around anxiously, how your body language says, "I'm good with me even if no one else is." That kind of security, that's a rare frequency. Let me give you a real-life example. Picture two men on a date. One's nervous, cracking jokes, talking too much, trying hard to be liked. The other one listens. He asks thoughtful questions. He's not in a rush to impress. He's grounded, even in silence. Guess who leaves the deeper impression? Exactly. Calm confidence doesn't perform. It allows, it doesn't chase, it attracts. And most importantly, it creates space. And in that space, people lean in. They want to know more. They feel safe enough to show up fully. But here's something you might not expect. Calm confidence also slows down time. Not literally, of course. But when you're not in a state of panic or comparison or craving, your nervous system settles. You sleep better, you digest better, you age slower. Your body isn't constantly under attack from your own thoughts. That's not just philosophy, it's biology. Cortisol, your stress hormone, is a real culprit in premature aging. But when you carry yourself with that slow-burning, stable energy, your body thanks you, and your face reflects it. So if you want to stay magnetic not just now, but into your 40s, 50s, and beyond, focus less on being alpha and more on being anchored. A storm is loud, but the mountain it crashes into, that's the real power. One last thing, don't confuse calm confidence with passivity. This isn't about shrinking yourself or becoming emotionless. It's about choosing your response instead of being ruled by reactivity. It's about moving with intention, saying less but meaning more. And if this is a trait you're ready to embody, say it out loud and drop it in the comments. I lead with calm. Own that. Let it guide how you speak, how you walk, how you even breathe. Because trust me, the more the world rushes, the more powerful it becomes to slow down. And the most attractive men in any room, they're not the ones trying to be seen. They're the ones who make people feel seen. And, speaking of being seen, what if I told you there's one final quality that silently radiates youth, draws people in, and gives you an unshakable glow that's deeper than looks? Stay close. It's the one most people overlook. Number 9. Your eyes still spark with life. There's something you can't fake, can't buy, can't Botox. It's the spark in your eyes. If people keep telling you, you look way younger than your age, there's a good chance they're not just talking about your skin or your hair. They're talking about that glow behind your gaze, that quiet energy, that fire that says, I'm still here and I'm still fully alive. Your eyes reveal your soul. And when someone looks at you and sees curiosity, kindness, presence, that's youth, that's magnetism. That's what no gym membership, skincare routine, or fancy wardrobe can replace. You've probably seen it. People who have perfect skin, but their eyes are tired, checked out. There's no life behind them. On the flip side, someone with laugh lines and silver in their beard can absolutely light up a room just by how they look at you. That's not cosmetic. That's inner vitality. This isn't just about being charming. It's deeper. It's about what Stoic philosophy calls living according to nature. Not faking, not forcing, just being present, aligned, and true. A Stoic man doesn't waste energy trying to look young. He just lives fully, and that energy shows up in his eyes. Because when your mind is still curious, when your soul is still searching, when your heart is still open, your eyes reflect that. You become magnetic. Think about it. When was the last time you really looked someone in the eye? No agenda, no armor, just fully there? Women feel that. Everyone does. It's the rare kind of presence that's becoming extinct in a world full of filters, distractions, and artificial connections. But when a man has that spark in his eyes, it says, I'm awake, I see you, I'm here. That's why people find it attractive. That's why it makes you look younger. Because it shows that your inner world is still vibrant, still playful, still alive. So, how do you keep that spark? It's not about being hyper or loud. It's about wonder, gratitude, still being in love with the little things, laughing when no one's watching, letting the world surprise you. Read books, watch the sunset, have deep conversations, stay present with people you care about. Keep your heart open to beauty even if life's hit you hard. And here's the thing, that spark in your eyes, it speaks louder than words. It tells her you're not just aging, you're evolving. You're not just surviving, you're still thriving. That's a kind of youth that lasts. So let me ask you this, has anyone ever told you they feel something different when you look at them? That they feel safe or seen or understood? If so, tell me in the comments. I want to hear that story. And if not, maybe this is your sign. To start showing up with your full presence, to make eye contact that says, I'm here and I'm real. Your eyes are powerful. They can flirt, protect, comfort, and lead all without a word. So don't dim that light, keep it burning. Because when your eyes still spark with life, your age becomes irrelevant. And you become unforgettable. Number 10. You carry yourself like a man, not a boy. Let's be real, there's a difference. A man doesn't just look older. He moves differently, he thinks differently, he responds differently. That difference, it shows up in how you carry yourself. And that's what makes people stop, notice, and often say, I can't believe you're that age. So what does it mean to carry yourself like a man, not a boy? It starts with presence. A man is grounded. When he enters a room, he's not looking around for approval. He's not fidgeting, trying to impress, or filling the silence with noise. His energy says, I belong here, not because of arrogance, but because of certainty. A calm certainty that comes from doing the work in himself, in his life, and through his choices. You don't rush. You don't shrink. You take your time. You speak when you have something worth saying, and when you speak, You speak with weight, not volume. A man understands the power of stillness, of eye contact, of silence. That's not just attractive, that's timeless. Now, contrast that with the energy of someone who hasn't grown out of boyhood. There's insecurity masked as bravado. There's over-explaining, over-performing, overcompensating. That energy ages a person fast. But when you let go of the need to prove anything, something shifts. You age, but in the best possible way, with dignity, with gravity, with a quiet magnetism that speaks for you before you even open your mouth. Here's the Stoic layer to all of this. In Stoic philosophy, the mature Mantha Sophisis, someone who governs himself. He doesn't live to impress. He lives to be in harmony with nature, reason, and virtue. His actions are deliberate, his choices are aligned, his emotions are tempered, not suppressed, but mastered. When you carry yourself with that kind of inner architecture, people feel it. They don't know why you stand out. They just know you do. That's why you might look younger, but not in a naive or immature way. It's in the way your energy feels light, unburdened by drama. You're not racing to catch up, you're already here. Women feel this distinction deeply. You're not needy. You're not trying to impress. You're inviting her into your frumano, begging to be let into hers. And here's what most men don't realize. You can hit the gym, wear great clothes, have perfect hair, but if you still walk like a boy, think like a boy, respond like a boy, it's written all over you. But when you own your present, chin up, shoulders relaxed, movements intentional, your body tells the world, I'm not a boy anymore. I'm a man who's seen things, built things, maybe lost some things, but I've grown because of it. That energy is rare, and rare things are irresistible. So no, you don't have to try to look young. You just need to embody what most men your age have lost or never learned: composure, direction, and presence. It's not about faking anything. It's about becoming what you admire, living your standards, aligning your energy, cutting the noise. That's what makes people stare and think, there's something different about him. And maybe they can't explain it, but they feel it. You walk with intention, you stand like someone who's earned his peace, and you carry yourself like a man, not a boy. And that keeps you looking and feeling young, strong, and unforgettable. So, there you have it. Looking younger than your age? It's not magic. It's not genetics. It's how you live, how you carry yourself, how you think, and how you show up in this world. Staying young isn't just about skin or hair, it's about energy. It's the way you walk into a room, the way your presence is felt without needing to say a word. It's the depth in your voice, the clarity in your eyes, and the calm strength behind your silence. If something in this video hit you, if you felt seen, or if you thought, damn, that's exactly what I've been doing, let me know in the comments. Drop, I own my edge. That's your statement. And if you've made it this far, you're not just scrolling through content, you're here for growth, for truth, for a version of yourself that doesn't age with fear but ages with purpose and fire. Make sure you subscribe, because the next videos, they're built for men like you, men who don't settle, men who evolve. And if you're ready to go even deeper into the real mindset, the Stoic structure, and attraction psychology, most men will never understand, join as a channel member. No fluff, no hype, just real tools to become who you were meant to be. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.